The wind was louder than my heartbeat, but not by much. That night, even the stars seemed afraid. I had never heard the ice scream like that before. It wasn't just the cold. No, I was used to that, born into it, raised by it. It was something deeper, something wrong. The silence between the wind gusts didn't feel empty anymore. It felt watched. I dragged my little paws across the brittle surface of the sea ice. Each step left a shallow mark, barely enough to prove I existed. My belly ached with hunger, sharp and constant. But worse than the hunger was the weight on my back. The invisible kind. The kind no cub should carry. I was alone, and I wasn't supposed to be. A few days ago, or was it more? Time had blurred. I had my mother's warmth beside me. Her breath used to blanket my ears as I slept, her fur soft and endless like the drifting snow dunes. But now all I had was a memory and fading warmth on the ice. I didn't see it happen. One moment, she was pulling me along with gentle grunts, urging me towards safer hunting grounds. The next, the ice had opened its mouth beneath her. No sound, no warning, just a violent crack, and a splash that swallowed the only world I knew. I screamed. I howled. I scratched at the ice with my tiny claws, crying out into the freezing dark. She never came back. Since then, the world had gone quiet. Too quiet. Even the wind had changed. It didn't carry her scent anymore. I didn't know where I was going. I just knew I couldn't stay in the same place. The ice here was thinner than my legs were long. It moved beneath me, groaning like it had secrets. The clouds above were heavy and dark, hiding the moon, and I was so very tired. My name? I didn't have one. Cubs like me didn't need names. We needed warmth and food, and mothers who lived long enough to teach us the difference between safety and death. But I'd learned that second part all on my own. Some nights, I heard things, strange echoes, unfamiliar clicks, and whirs far beyond the ridges of ice. Once I thought I saw lights. They moved like dancing stars, low to the ground, and then vanished. I didn't know what they were, but they scared me. Tonight, the air smelled wrong again. Not the usual salt and snow. This was sharp, tangy, a scent I'd never smelled before. And it wasn't from the sea. It came from somewhere behind me. I stopped. My ears twitched. My fur stood on edge. Crack. There was again, too close, a sound, soft but deliberate. Not ice shifting. Not the wind. Something heavier. Something alive. I turned, slow as the moon's rise. There was nothing there, but the scent lingered. And now, something else. Faint heat, like breath, or eyes watching. I pressed my belly to the ice, trying to disappear into it, my heart pounding like a seal beneath the surface. What if it was back? The thing that had taken my mother? What if it followed me? Suddenly, the ice to my left gave a small groan. A jagged line etched itself in a slow, menacing crack beneath the surface. I shuffled away, slipping, fumbling, whimpering. Then a shadow moved, not far, no more than 20 paw lengths ahead. It glided across the ridge with strange, unsteady steps. 2 legs, not 4. I froze. It wasn't a bear. It wasn't a fox. It wasn't anything I knew. And yet it saw me. I could feel it, not just see it. Its gaze pierced through the dark like the cold itself. Not hunting, not stalking. Curious. I trembled, unsure whether to flee or fall still and play dead. My legs had no strength left in them. The creature stepped closer, slow, cautious, like it was afraid it would scare me away. But I didn't move. Couldn't. The thing reached out and made a sound. Not a growl, not a bark. It was soft, strange, full of emotion I didn't understand. Then another figure joined it, bigger, slower, also on 2 legs, covered in something thick and colored like snow. Their eyes were hidden behind dark glass, their breath steaming from a tube. They kneeled, both of them. One pointed, the other opened something. A smell hit me, stronger than the strange air. Meaty, warm, real. My stomach twisted. Food. I didn't know what it was, but my instincts didn't care. My paws moved forward an inch. Then another. I was too weak to run, too cold to think. Then another sound, a sharp one, from behind me. I spun around, and that's when I saw it. Eyes, low to the ground, glowing faint yellow, watching me from the jagged ice pile I had just walked past. It wasn't a bear, but it was moving now. Fast, too fast. The two-legged figures didn't see it yet, but I did, and in that moment, my little body finally understood. Something else was hunting me. Asterisk. If you're still watching this story, you're braver than I ever was. And trust me, it only gets more terrifying from here. Subscribe to Wildlife Legends before it's too late. The yellow eyes didn't blink. I stared back, breathless, my pulse thudding like a drum in my ears. Whatever it was wasn't large, but it moved like it didn't need to be. Low to the ice, its body blended perfectly with the frozen rubble around it, a shadow with fangs. I could hear it now, too, the soft scritch-scratch of claws against the brittle surface, growing faster. The humans hadn't noticed. They were still crouched down, making soft sounds and rustling their strange bags. One of them tossed something toward me. It landed near my front paw, a chunk of something brown and greasy smelling. My stomach flipped in hunger, but I couldn't move, not with death behind me. I let out a whimper, soft, pitiful. One of the humans looked up. I saw them freeze. They had seen the eyes. The next moments happened fast. So fast I barely understood them. The larger human shouted something and pulled a long stick from their side. It clicked, and suddenly a flash of white light burst from the end, hissing into the air. The creature behind me shrieked. A sharp, high-pitched sound I never wanted to hear again. It darted sideways, disappearing into shattered ice field. Gone. Just like that. But the scent remained, wet fur and sour meat. I knew now. It had been stalking me for hours. I could have died. Again, the human dropped the stick. Both of them approached slowly, kneeling low, hands out. They spoke again, gentle tones. Soft syllables. Not threatening. Confusing, but kind. The scent of food was stronger now, and my legs gave in without asking permission. I fell forward, landing half on the brown chunk they had tossed. Warm, chewy, greasy. It didn't matter what it was. I ate it like it was life itself. And maybe it was. The humans exchanged looks. One of them took something from their pack. A round, white object. They placed it gently near me, then backed off. The object beeped once. A red light blinked on its surface. I had no idea what it was. But I didn't run. Couldn't. My muscles trembled with exhaustion. The last of my strength had melted with that chunk of food. I curled up, breathing hard, eyes half closed. And then I felt it. Something warm draped over me. Not fur, not snow, fabric, a blanket. It was so strange, heavy and soft. It held my body like a den, like a mother's side. I couldn't fight anymore. My eyes slipped closed, and for the first time in what felt like moons, I slept, not deeply, but enough. When I woke again, the sky had changed. Morning, maybe. The light had softened to pale blue, and tiny crystals danced in the air like floating stars. I was no longer on bare ice. Instead, I lay inside something. A den? No, it wasn't natural. It was made from fabric and poles, surrounded by tall walls of snow packed perfectly square. A human sat nearby, scribbling on a board. They had taken off their big mask and hood. Their eyes were round, kind, not predator eyes. The other human approached me with a small bowl. It was metal, inside water, but not from the sea. It didn't taste like salt. It was pure. I sniffed it, cautious, then drank. The human made a noise. Pleased, maybe. I wanted to feel safe, but part of me still shook inside. I didn't know where I was, or why they were helping me. Maybe I was a trophy, or maybe they wanted to trap me. One of them pointed a strange box at me. It made a soft click. Then another. I flinched. They stopped, lowered it, and murmured something. I didn't understand, but they weren't angry. They weren't hunting me. They were studying me. That night, I tried to walk. My legs held for a few steps before wobbling. I collapsed. The humans didn't rush me. They watched quietly, writing on those boards again. They gave me more food. It smelled like fish, but stronger. Not raw, warm. My tongue barely kept up. Then something strange happened. A sound, loud, roaring, from the sky. I looked up and saw a bird unlike any I had seen, but it didn't flap wings. It hovered, a machine. It descended behind the snow wall, and the humans cheered. New scents, new sounds. More figures arrived, dressed the same, moving like the first two. They surrounded me. One of them spoke in a different tone, commanding. The others nodded. I was lifted, not with claws, with strange flat paws. They placed me inside a box, dark but padded. It smelled of plastic and cold metal. I panicked, scratched, cried out, but they spoke again, soothing. One of them knelt beside the box, their eyes level with mine. They whispered something and touched the top of the box gently. I stared back, my breath fogging the small window between us. Then I felt the ground move, not shake, move. We were flying, not with wings, but flying. I pressed my face to the small hole in the box and watched the world tilt away beneath us. White, blue, endless. I was leaving the ice, leaving everything I knew, and I had no idea where I was going. But something told me this was only the beginning, because as the machine lifted higher into the sky, I caught one last glimpse of something in the snow below. A streak of red, thin, fresh, blood. Not mine, not animal. It had come from near the snow wall, from inside the humans' camp, and no one else had noticed it. Yet, the sky was an ocean now. Darkness stretched beneath me, broken only by clouds drifting like ghost packs across the stars. The machine carrying me hummed like a living thing, and every now and then it shuddered slightly, just enough to remind me that I was far from solid ground. I lay inside the padded box, my body cocooned by soft walls and the strange, warm fabric they had wrapped me in. A small vent near the side let me breathe fresh air. I pressed my nose to it, catching whiffs of salt, cold steel, and something else. That blood. It hadn't left my mind. I'd seen it. Thin lines, almost hidden in the snow. A trail, leading toward the back of the humans' camp, away from the others. Red, sharp, fresh. Something had happened, and none of them noticed. Or maybe they didn't want to. I wasn't sure why it mattered to me. Maybe because danger always knows danger. And that smell, it wasn't just blood. It was fear, panic, something gone wrong. I closed my eyes, trying to sleep, but the box shifted slightly again, and somewhere above me I heard a voice. Two voices. The humans. They were speaking, arguing. It was muffled, but I recognized them. The first two, the ones who found me. The male voice was harsh, angry. The female, pleading. I caught one word. I'd heard it repeated often now. Protocol. He kept saying it like a threat. I didn't know what it meant, but I knew what fear sounded like. And she was afraid. My claws twitched against the box walls. I didn't like this. Something was wrong. Then came the next voice. Different. Calm. Too calm. A third human. Their tone was smooth like ice over a deep crack. They said something I couldn't understand. But the air changed after that. I didn't hear the female voice again. Just silence. Hours passed. Or maybe it was minutes. Time was strange in the sky. Eventually, the machine landed. Not like falling, more like sinking, slow and heavy. My box was jostled, then lifted again. This time it was colder. I smelled snow, wind, exhaust. Then another scent hit me. Animals. Many of them. Different fur. Different fear. I heard barking, growling, the high-pitched call of birds. The air here was thick with tension and unfamiliar noise. They wheeled my box through long halls. Bright lights overhead. The ground beneath wasn't ice. It was hard, smooth, humming, not natural. Doors opened, closed. Voices passed by. Some laughed. Some shouted. One even cried. I was placed inside a glass room. My box opened. But I didn't come out. A new human appeared, not in furs like the others. This one wore white, clean clothes and long coverings on their hands. Their eyes didn't smile. They held a needle. I shrank back. Too late. They grabbed my paw, swiftly. Pain. Sharp. Quick. I let out a cry, angry, not scared. The human frowned, jotted something down. I didn't like them. They left. Another human replaced them. Then another. Every few hours. Someone came in, touched me, took something, left. No one fed me. No one talked to me the way the woman had. I started pacing. The walls were clear but closed. I could see out, see other glass boxes, more animals, a fox with sad eyes, a snowy owl that refused to move, a sealed pup that didn't make a sound. We were all alone together. I began scratching at the glass. I didn't know what I wanted. Maybe freedom. Maybe the scent of snow again. Anything real. Then I saw him, the male human from before, the one with the angry voice. He walked past my room, face stiff, talking to someone I couldn't see. He didn't look inside, but I saw the bruise. Near his jaw, purple, swelling, and a scratch along his neck. Claw-shaped. I froze. My mind flashed back to the red trail in the snow. Someone had fought him. Someone human. Maybe the woman. Maybe. I didn't finish the thought. A new person entered my room. Young, nervous, carrying a tray. Fish. Warm again. I didn't eat it first. I just watched him. He avoided my eyes. Set the tray down and backed out quickly. He left the door slightly open. Only for a second. It clicked softly behind him. But something else was left behind. His bag. He'd forgotten it. I crept forward, stomach growling. The scent of food pulled me close. But something else tugged harder. Curiosity. I nosed open the top of the bag. Inside, papers. A device that glowed. And a strip of cloth soaked with blood. Fresh. It wasn't from me. And it wasn't from another animal. The scent was human. I backed away. Heart thudding. Something was happening here. Something dangerous. Not just for me, but for the humans too. The woman who saved me. I hadn't seen her since the flight. What if she wasn't okay? What if she had vanished? My cage was small, but my instinct was sharp. This wasn't rescue. This was something else. Something bigger. And I was in the middle of it now. They thought I was harmless. A cub. Weak. Not ready. But I had watched. I had listened. And I had waited. 3 days passed inside that glass prison. 3 days of needles, poking hands, empty faces. The woman, the only one who looked at me like I mattered, was still gone. No one said her name anymore. No one whispered about her in the halls like before. It was like she had never existed. But I remembered her scent, her warmth, the way her hands trembled when she touched my fur the first night, the way she whispered when she thought I couldn't understand. "You'll be okay now." She had lied. Or maybe she had tried. That night, the boy returned. The same nervous boy with the soft steps and shaking hands. But this time he came without food. His eyes flicked around the room. He didn't notice I was awake. He crouched near the corner and pulled something from his pocket, slipped it into the wall panel under the sink. A card. Shiny. Blue. He tapped it. A green light blinked once. Then he stood, adjusted his coat, and left. I waited. Nothing happened. Then the lights flickered. Just once. Then silence. The humming, the never-ending, buzzing hum of the place, stopped. And I heard it. A shout, far down the corridor. Then another. Panic. I stood, alert, my claws tensed, muscles tight, a thump, a door opening too fast. Heavy boots on steel. Someone running. Then boom, the glass door shattered. Not from outside, from inside. I had never moved so fast. I didn't stop to wonder how. Didn't wait to question why the panel had unlocked, or why the air suddenly smelled like burning wires. I ran, out of the room, past the hallway, past rooms where the owl flapped wildly and the fox barked once, desperate. The seal pup stared through his wall, unmoving. I couldn't help them. I was barely helping myself. The hallway split. To the left, noise, voices, humans shouting. To the right, silence. And cold. I took the right. The floor was smooth beneath my pads. Lights above flickered, then died. Emergency reds glowed like blood on the walls. My body ached, but I kept going. I reached a large room. Metal shelves, strange bottles, and cages, empty ones, except for one. In the far corner, a figure slumped over, hands bound, hair matted. I stopped breathing. I knew her. Her scent hit me like a gust of winter wind. The woman, she was alive, barely. Her eyes were closed, dried blood along her temple, her wrist twisted wrong. I patted closer, cautious. She stirred, her eyes opened, and for a moment, she didn't seem to understand. Then she saw me. A whisper, "No." She tried to speak again. Her voice cracked. "Not you, you have to go." I didn't move. I just looked at her. She shook her head. "They'll come back. They know you're missing." "Run," she whispered, tears welling up. "Please run." But I couldn't. I nudged her hand with my nose. Soft, gentle. Her fingers twitched. She cried harder. "I tried to stop them," she said. "I didn't know what they were doing until—" Her eyes closed again, too weak to finish. Suddenly, footsteps. Fast. Close. Voices raised in alarm. I backed away. My heart beat, so loud it drowned the noise. I ducked behind a steel cabinet just as two humans entered, both in black gear, holding metal rods that hummed and sparked. They said he broke the door. How? He's just a cub. I told them not to wait this long. The dosage wasn't right. We should have moved the mother sooner. Doesn't matter now. Find it. The taller one stepped toward the cage. Still breathing, he muttered, seeing the woman. The other man laughed bitterly. Not for long. She talked. They raised the rod. I lunged. No plan. No hesitation. Just instinct. I crashed into the taller one first. My claws caught his leg, sent him spinning. He yelped, a sound more animal than human. The second one spun, swinging the rod wildly. It grazed my side, burned, but I was faster. I bit down hard on his arm. He screamed. They both scrambled back, retreating toward the hallway. Blood on the floor now. Their blood. They didn't expect a cub to fight. They wouldn't forget it. They slammed the door shut behind them, locking it from outside. I turned back to the woman. She was looking at me, tears running down her face. You're not just a cub," she whispered. I moved closer, pressing my body against hers. She winced but smiled weakly. "I'm sorry I brought you here." I didn't understand her words, but I understood her pain. I lay beside her that night, listening, waiting. We were trapped now, but we were alive, together, until morning, when everything would change again. Morning never came in the way I remembered it. No golden light, no gentle hush of the wind across the snow, just darkness, still, heavy, and the low, mechanical hum of the walls breathing around us again. They had restored power. We were still trapped. She was colder now. I curled around her broken form, trying to give her whatever warmth my small body could offer. She whispered things I didn't understand, fragments of words, apologies meant for someone else, maybe herself, maybe me. I tried to keep her awake, but her voice slowed. Her breaths became shallow, too shallow. She was slipping. I felt it, and that was when the sound came. Bang. The door, opening again. This time, slower, cautious. Boots, lighter. One person, not the man from before. Then I saw him, the boy, the one with soft eyes. His hand shook as he entered, a card still in his palm. The same blue card. He stopped when he saw the blood, the claw marks on the floor. The woman motionless, and me, standing in front of her. I didn't growl. I didn't move. He stepped forward carefully, tears already forming in his eyes. "No," he whispered. He dropped to his knees beside her and touched her face. His voice cracked. "She's breathing," he said, to no one but himself. "She's barely breathing." He looked at me. No fear, just guilt. "I didn't know what they were doing," he said. "I swear, I thought it was just a rehab program." He laughed bitterly. "That's what they called it. Rehabilitation and observation." His hands shook. "I found the reports last night. They never planned to let you go. Or her. They just wanted the data." I blinked slowly. I didn't know what any of it meant, but I knew he wasn't like the others. He pulled something from his pocket. Another card. Red this time. He touched it to a panel on the far wall. A hiss, then a soft click. A hidden door slid open. Cold air rushed in. Real cold. Not from vents. Not artificial. But wild. Free. I took one step forward. Then another. And stopped. I turned back to her. Still breathing. Barely. The boy nodded. "I'll carry her. But we have to go now." I waited as he gently lifted her, cradling her broken arm. She moaned softly. We moved together, him leading, me following, through the hidden door, down a narrow corridor, up a ramp that grew colder with every step. Then light, real light, not bright, not golden, but gray, Arctic morning, the real one. I stepped out first. Snow crunched under my paws. I had forgot what it sounded like. The boy followed, stumbling. Behind us, the door closed, silently, as if it never existed. He looked around, panicked. "There has to be a signal beacon out here." Something. I saw it on the schematic. He scanned the frozen horizon, then pointed. "There." We made our way across the snow. Him, struggling. Me, alert. The wind picked up. The snow stung. But I didn't care. I was out, and she was with me. The beacon was small, a red light blinking weakly under a snow-covered antenna. He pressed a button. Then another. Static. Then a voice. "Expedition Echo Base. This is emergency channel. Come in." Static again. "Medical evac needed. One human, critical. One juvenile bear, also injured. Coordinates attached." More static. Then, "Copy that. Estimated time, 30 minutes. He exhaled, dropped his knees. "She's going to make it," he whispered. He looked at me again. "You're going to make it." I sat in the snow beside them, watching, waiting. Something shifted in the wind. A sound. Engines. Far away. Closer. Then a helicopter. Larger than any bird I had ever seen. It landed with a gust of snow and ice. Voices shouted. Men and women in white coats rushed forward. They took her first, hooked wires to her, lifted her into the belly of the machine. One woman reached for me. I stepped back. The boy stood between us. "No," he said. "No more cages." He turned to me and pointed not toward the machine, but toward the open ice, toward the wild. "You can go," he said softly. "I just wanted you to be free." The others shouted at him, but he didn't care. He just stood there, hands raised, protecting me from them. I looked at the machine one last time. She was inside, but she was safe. She would live. And I turned away, toward the horizon, and I ran, faster than I had ever run, across the snow, toward the scent of freedom, of ocean, of home. Behind me, the wind erased my tracks. But I didn't need to look back, because I remembered everything. Every touch, every cry, every time I almost gave up, and every soul who didn't let me. They had taken everything from me. But someone had made a choice, a life-changing one, not just for me, but for them, too. The wild took me back that day, and I was no longer just a cub. I was something more. I was survival. I was memory. I was legend.